Join me as I dive into the top 10 bloodiest horror movies ever made and see if I can handle all the gore this Halloween. Horror movies have always been a staple of the Halloween season, and for good reason. There's something about the thrill and fear they evoke that makes them irresistible to audiences. But what makes a horror movie truly unforgettable? The answer, of course, is the gore. And that's exactly what we're counting down today. The top 10 bloodiest horror movies ever made. Defining what makes a horror movie bloody can be a challenge. Is it the number of on-screen deaths, the intensity of the violence, the sheer amount of blood spilled? Whatever the criteria, one thing is certain: a truly bloody horror movie is not for the faint of heart. And yet, every year during Halloween, horror fans flock to these films like moths to a flame. So what is it about these gory masterpieces that draws us in? Is it the rush of adrenaline we get from being scared out of our wits? Or is it the sense of camaraderie that comes from surviving a terrifying experience with friends? One thing's for sure: bloody horror movies are a staple of the genre, and Halloween just wouldn't be the same without them. So whether you're a horror aficionado or just a fan of the macabre, you're in for a treat. Let's dive in and explore what makes these films so unforgettable. From gruesome kills to scenes that will leave you gasping in shock, we're about to embark on a journey into the very heart of horror itself. Martyrs, a 2008 French extreme horror film, takes the number 10 spot on our list. This film is not for the squeamish. It features scenes of brutal violence, torture, and mutilation that will leave even the most hardened horror fans squirming in their seat. Next up is a Serbian film, a 2010 film that was banned in multiple countries due to its graphic content. This film pushes the boundaries of what's acceptable on screen, featuring scenes of sexual violence and depravity that are truly stomach-churning. At number 8, we have I Spit on Your Grave, a 1978 rape revenge film that's as brutal as it is controversial. This film's graphic violence and revenge sequences are not for the faint of heart. As we count down, things only get gorier. At number 7, we have Hostel, a 2005 film that's become synonymous with the torture porn genre. This film's gruesome kills and scenes of graphic violence are still widely discussed today. Coming in at number 6 is The Human Centipede, a 2009 film that's as bizarre as it is disturbing. This film's concept of a mad scientist surgically connecting 3 people mouth to anus is still widely debated among horror fans. And at number 5, we have Brain Dead, a 1992 zombie film that's as comedic as it is gory. This film's over-the-top violence and gore have made it a cult classic. But the top 4 spots on our list are where things get really intense. At number 4, we have The Devil's Rejects, a 2005 sequel to House of 1000 Corpses. This film's graphic violence and brutal kills are still widely talked about today. Coming in at number 3 is Cannibal Holocaust, a 1980 Italian cannibal film that's as controversial as it is influential. This film's graphic violence, real animal killings, and scenes of sexual violence have made it a notorious classic. And at number 2, we have Salo, or The 120 Days of Sodom, a 1975 Italian art house film that's as disturbing as it is thought-provoking. This film's depiction of sexual violence, torture, and depravity is still widely debated among film scholars. But what's the number 1 bloodiest horror movie of all time? For that, we have to go back to 1973, when The Exorcist first shocked audiences worldwide. This film's depiction of demonic possession, graphic violence, and scenes of pure terror are still widely imitated today. The Exorcist is not just a horror movie, it's an experience and one that's not to be missed. So there you have it, folks. The top 10 bloodiest horror movies ever made. Whether you're a horror aficionado or just a fan of the macabre, these films are sure to leave you sleeping with the lights on this Halloween. And as we bid each other farewell, remember, the thrill of bloody horror films is what makes Halloween so unforgettable. What's your favorite bloody horror movie? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to check out my other videos for more horror content.